You see? Hello there, my fellow followers of darkness, plumbers, Koopas, and mushroom addicts all over the world. Welcome to the very first premiere of the Shadow Council. Welcome, welcome, all of you. Welcome, join us in this amazing Super Mario ever discussion. But before, allow me to introduce you, my fellow council members.
I'll go first. Hi everybody. I'm Peyton the Pop. I'm Peyton. For the Pop Perch Network. I'm a frequent collaborator of the Lord of Shadows on the McClunky Chit Chat and the Pow Bang podcast. Glad to be a councilman here today.
Yeah, my name is Kieran Grudgins. I am part of the Film Review Central podcast where we discuss about movies and TV shows and hopefully make it a little bit more interesting. I'm also the president of the Smodcast Showdown, which is a fantastic trivia competition that Lord of Shadows is very, very frequent in, and Peyton as well has also appeared on my channel many times as the two-time summer box office champion. So a lot of history with these men. Very, very glad that I can be part of the Shadow Council. I'm very honoured.
And I'm TK. I edit their podcast for them, and I love Mephisto.
Fuck you, TK. Okay, go fuck yourself. They're only like if you have to replace Mephisto, at least replace him with someone who's like from the fucking Nintendo universe. Okay, replace him for like characters like Bowser or Ganondorf or whoever. Like Jesus. like we need to send you to like some kind of a like fucking shrink or something like you and Mephisto. Like seriously.
That's the way to start off a live stream, everybody.
It is. It fucking is. Oh god. Okay, so basically, as the title says, we're gonna talk about the upcoming, most waited, surprisingly, especially for the longtime fans, the Super Mario Bros. Anime movie made by Illumination and alongside, of course, their HQ, Nintendo. So basically, we all know like this movie has been in development for like what, like 6, 7, 8 years since it was actually announced. And basically everyone was wondering like, how this is gonna looks like, who's gonna voice who and everything, and basically then we find out Illumination is gonna do it, and a lot of people actually got like, well, from respected reasons, but actually some people actually kind of got worried that Illumination, Minions, Despicable Me, and all that, like, how this is gonna look like. But it is. When I saw that trailer, like, my opinion changed rapidly. Like, it looked beautiful. Like, I mean, usually the Illumination budget, it was like from 60 to like 70 to 80 million, usually. This, from what I've seen, looks like it was like over 100. I mean, what do you guys think from just for what you saw in the trailer?
Gorgeous.
Yeah. Really good.
Yeah, it definitely looks like they've not cut any corners with the budget. Obviously, Illumination is a fast-growing animated company. Disney, Pixar, and DreamWorks are definitely the top tier of animated movies. But this one looks so pleasant. It looks so fun, and humorizing in terms of that. It just looks like a batch full of color within the screen. So they've not cut any corners. They've got an incredible budget and got some great animated style. So to me, I think the trailer and also the poster as well. I thought the poster showed more color and intrigue than probably the trailer did, which in terms of the color scheme and the color palette it showed. So to me, I definitely think they've not cut any corners with the budget and just looks like such a fun and lovely movie to watch.
I will also say that this looks like an epic. Like, you play the Mario games and stuff like that, and you kind of have this like picture like this universe is like this big like epic adventure, somewhat like if you take like a big like fantasy like Lord of the Rings, but put it into like this kind of this creative video game like universe. Obviously you get the Mario universe, and I feel like for the people that like play these games, like you, Alan, or like I've played a few of them myself. Like they would imagine like this big grand spectacle, and hopefully it's what we're going to be getting in this movie because it looks grand.
Oh yeah, I mean, just like you guys said, like the animation is golden. Like, I mean, seriously, like just from the first sequence where you have Bowser coming with his like land slash ship or something, like basically to the Ice Kingdom, to the kingdom of the fucking penguins, where usually like players drop them off the cliff. Like, oh my god, like, oh my god, it wouldn't surprise me if they mention or do like an Easter egg where basically they're penguins they're thrown off the cliff. It wouldn't surprise me if they do something like that. But I would say this also, the Penguin King like voice, I was laughing my ass out like because I thought like it's gonna be like attack, or like basically that is but a taste of our fury or something like that, but instead of like they give him like a very macho voice, like that is but a taste of our fury, do you yield? I'm like, wow, they really going full like 100%. But I would say this, like when it comes to animation, yeah, I mean like they really like outdid themselves, especially Illumination, for because like you said, they're a growing company, and they made it like their success, especially with the Despicable Me franchise, so like this is gonna help them a lot because I can see this movie make a lot of money. I mean, like now I will say this: a lot of people were shitting about it, especially the gamers, like the way how Super Mario looks like, and like because I've seen a lot of reactions. Because usually I don't watch trailer reactions. Like sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But for this one, I was like, I want to watch like almost every single one of them, and almost every single one of them when they saw Mario, they were like, huh, like I was like, I don't know, like why? Like, I don't like the way he looks. I don't like his nose. His butt is like very straightforward. Like you're like, for fuck's sake! I was like, he looks beautiful. He looks exactly like fucking Mario. I mean, what do you guys thought?
I mean, there's slight tweaks to the design, but it's nothing like that. Like another like animated movie. Like I've seen animated movies that have adapted a stuff like this, and they've butchered the designs.
Yeah, I like
I
the
mean,
design too.
Yeah.
It's better than the
I think
ugly
it leads.
Sonic.
What do you say?
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say it leans itself very well to animation. I think obviously they did the live action Mario Brothers movies, which were massively comical and stuff like that. But this franchise really leans itself to animation. The world is very much this fantasy elements that you can only really do on animated styles. For me, I thought Mario looked really great. I think he just looked fun. He looked somebody who you would happily see on a journey with. They're definitely using this success of the last two Sonic the Hedgehog movies, which I love both of them. I thought they're just such fun adventures, as ways of saying people are really, really intrigued by these older games, these with the animated characters that are really leaning into it. And for me, definitely saying we cannot do what they did with the first trailer with Sonic, where the Sonic the Hedgehog did not look so good. Like I said, they had a great budget. They had a fantastic budget, and they used it definitely on making these characters look as definitely pleasing as possible. Because you'd look at that character and you just go, you know what? You've connected something with my childhood. I would love to see on a journey with you, and that's exactly what we're getting from this movie.
I mean, exactly all of you, like everything what you said was absolutely correct. I mean, like, okay, I mean, of course you're gonna find, for example, his hair a little bit like more detailed, a little more like realistically hairy and things, just like the same with the mustache, and also like there are some like elements in his design that makes him look very cartoony. But again, like this is like basically like nitpicky thing. Like this is like a 1-2% of like with the 98 or 99% where he looks like exactly like from the games, and also like I'm also interested to know like what did you thought of Bowser as well?
I mean, obviously the design, and then Jack Black's voice is just surprisingly pitch perfect.
Oh yeah, You too.
Yeah, I think Jack Black's a fantastic actor. I think this has got a great cast, which I know we'll come on to a little bit later on in the show. But for me, I just think let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about Bowser and Jack Black. For me, Jack Black is a fantastic actor. He's probably in the best, one of the best animated trilogies of all time, which is Kung Fu Panda. I've just recently rewatched them. They've got so many positives to say about that franchise. So for me, the voice sounds villainous. It sounds like a character that you really, really want to hate, but then also you really want to sort of appreciate, his journey and what he's exactly doing. So for me, I think the voice cast really, really works. I know there's been a lot about Chris Pratt recently, but for me, Bowser looks really, really good. He looks very, very game-like, and he definitely had a prominent part in that trailer. And as soon as you heard Jack Black's voice, you were immediately hooked about the way he did it, the way his villainous voice came through. That does a lot for a character, especially in animation, where the voice matches the characters in the way and the journey in which they've got in the movie.
Yeah, I thought Bowser was really well done too in the trailer. I was a little surprised though that the little what were those things that were throwing the snowballs? I was surprised that they didn't actually that Bowser didn't yield to them.
Like basically just like Bowser said, I do not. And basically, you have comics going like, Avada Kedavra, and basically, just simply making them float, go like different ways, and basically like, you see Bowser, his glory just simply like destroying the motherfucking castle, like he's put him in ruins, like basically showing you that Bowser is a threat, like they're not joking around with him and everything. And also, like you said, because I'm going to talk about the cast like a little bit later, but Jack Black, at first time I was like, he's going to do like the typical Jack Black thing, like a little bit like Poe-ish, like on Bowser. And I was like, when I heard that voice, especially with like, open the gates, I was like, is that Jack Black? I was like, wow, like this is good. This is really good. And I love that, especially like when he found the superstar and he's like, I finally found it. Now who's gonna stop me?
I heard his voice there, but still.
Yeah, still like he was really good. I mean, even like at Comic-Con, and it was like, you have this like he was like sitting on a throne or something, and basically he was trying to do like the Bowser voice, and like you can see like that he's having a blast. Voicing the character and everything. Like he was like really, really good. Like, I mean, I was really surprised. Now, for what I saw in the trailer, and I believe, you guys can obviously guess, like this is gonna be some sort of like, origin story where basically you're gonna see Super Mario like going on the first time to the Mushroom Kingdom, because if you guys don't know, like, he's a fucking plumber from Brooklyn. So I'm really curious to see how he's going to end up in the Mushroom Kingdom. I'm really interested how him and Luigi will end up in the Mushroom Kingdom. I mean, what do you guys think?
Yeah, it looks interesting to see that it is an origin story. I think the whole stereotype with video game movies is that do you make it for the fans or do you make it for new audiences? I definitely think you can do that and please both parties, because the target audience is young kids, so they're just going to be happy to watch this fantasy. The bright colors on the screen. It's coming out in probably one of the best cinema months of next year in March, but there's so many fantastic releases. But this one is the only one that you can really focus on for young kids. So I think an origin story really, really works. I like that discussion with video game movies about, do you do an origin story? Do you do a celebration of the games? I think you can absolutely do both. So I'm very intrigued to see the origin story. Somebody like me who's not a massive Mario fan will watch it and learn stuff and be intrigued, but also have a very, very damn good time. And I definitely think that that's something that they're going to do. It looks like in the trailer they're splitting them up. Whether that's a popular choice between the big fandoms, I'm not sure. I wasn't a particularly big fan because it doesn't feel like it's a Mario Brothers film. It definitely looks like they might have to sort of meet up and it'll take a long time before them two are on screen together. So I definitely think there might be two very, very different incidences, two very, very different stories within this. So I think whilst an origin story is positive, how they execute that is something I'm very intrigued by. And if they do that right, it definitely could be a big hit.
Indeed. What do you guys think?
I'd say pretty much what Kieran thinks. It's I don't really know how to phrase it, but like TK, you have any thoughts?
uh,
Well, that was quick.
Yeah, no. In all seriousness, I'm looking forward to seeing how the origin story. The thing is, you said Mario is a plumber from Brooklyn,
Yeah,
so
he's a plumber from Brooklyn.
I don't know how they're gonna execute that. That's why I'm a little bit like kind of lost for words. But at the same time, it can be like a stereotypical story, but at the same time, with like the whole world and everything like that, I think we have a lot to work with as far as this goes. So now, TK, you have something to say?
yeah, I agree with what you I agree with what you said, Peyton. You said it so well. No, but I do agree with a lot of what you said, Peyton. I'm curious to see. I'm 50-50 on whether I like origin stories. My concern with it being an origin story is I don't want them to spend like over half the movie on the origin. Because I feel like that sometimes takes away from the story a little bit. So I guess that's my only real concern about it being an origin story. But I am curious how they do it and how much time they actually like dedicate to the origin. And whether they also deal with maybe like flashbacks.
I mean, personally,
I think
don't.
a bit. I think it'll be interesting to see exactly what they do with that, because I think I'm trying to make comparisons to Sonic, and maybe that might be a bit of a loose comparison, but Sonic I think did really well where it introduced in the first 5 to 10 minutes. You knew the struggle, but then these human characters he interacted with are not really involved in the games. So I think it made it definitely much for a film adaptation. This one definitely seems like it's going to be massively beloved within the video game sort of universe. So I agree with the engineer here. I do personally think that if they spent far too much time on the origin story, it could take that away. But I think that might be a reason you explaining that about the origin story could actually support my worry for the movie was, are you going to keep Mario and Luigi far apart? I think the main thing will be getting them two together, because at the end of the day, it's a Super Mario Brothers movie. It's not Mario, it's not Luigi, it's together. And I think splitting them apart, I definitely think the main conflict will be getting them together and really getting them two together, because that's going to be such a delight to see them two together. We haven't seen that in this teaser trailer. We might see that happen in the official trailer that hopefully will come out closer to the release date. So I think definitely that will be the main conflict, and probably not touch on the origin story, but not as much.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this. Like, first and foremost, like I heard some like stories that we might get like a new trailer for Super Mario Bros. Like very soon, somewhere like in December, because there's like this video game event going on. So people are saying that they could release a new official trailer there, but we should see about that. So going back to like what we were talking about, like I do believe we're gonna see some kind of an origin story, where basically how he first ended up in the Mushroom Kingdom. But here's the thing: I don't think like he's gonna be. Well, I mean, this is just speculation, but I don't think he's gonna be like half the movie in Brooklyn or something. Like, no, I think it's gonna be like very Sonic way. I think like it's gonna be like very quick. Like it's gonna be like maybe like a short amount of time in Brooklyn, and then he's gonna be like basically sucked up in the Mushroom Kingdom. And for what I've seen in the trailer, it is definitely obvious that Luigi and Mario will go like they will be like sucked up like in basically not sucked up, like basically shot out like in two different places. You can never see from the trailer, like basically when you see Mario landing in the Mushroom Kingdom and Luigi basically being somewhere very dark, like being chased by dry bones. So you can definitely feel they're gonna be separated. But I don't think they will take a long time to reunite them. I don't think like it will take them a long time. I think they will reunite like like in a short period of time. That's at least what I think. And also, like basically, like you mentioned before. I mean, all of you, like Miyamoto basically one time actually explained that he actually feels that the movie has actually completed like two things. One is basically being a movie for longtime Super Mario fans to enjoy, and also for moviegoers that had never heard of Super Mario in the first place. Because that's the main thing. Because some people, I've seen some comments saying, like, oh, it should be just for gamers. That's obvious. You're targeting us, the fans. And I'm like, time out, time out. Does that mean 100% of the people are going to watch the Super Mario Bros. Movie are going to be Super Mario fans? Bullshit. There's going to be a lot of people who never heard of Super Mario in the first place or ever play the game. So it makes sense. You're going to have to
Families.
balance the movie between normal moviegoers and video game fans. So I do believe especially how much Nintendo was involved. I think they will balance between normal moviegoers and video game longtime Super Mario fans, because that's the obvious thing to do. You can't just simply target just one type of audience. You can't, because only then you can screw up a movie, especially a movie that is based on a video game. So I do. So I do believe Miyamoto's words. I do believe, because after all, Super Mario is his baby, So of course, he's gonna take very good care of the movie, to being basically not at least 100% perfect, but 90 or 95%, perfect. Maybe I'm going a little bit too much with percentage, but you get my point.
But yeah, I do believe that. I do believe that video game movies that do balance out the video game aspect and also the new fan aspect are actually better video game movies. We've seen that in the past with obviously Sonic the Hedgehog, which I do think balance out very well. I thought Uncharted that came out earlier this year as well from a video game definitely balanced that out very, very well. So I think when it goes down that route, they're more successful. But then also you have that evidence to say that if you're focusing it purely on gamers, that it doesn't really attract audiences. I'm talking about movies like Warcraft, Assassin's Creed, where when you're watching as a first-time viewer and just a general audience, you're struggling to really follow this. But if you're watching it with somebody that loves the games, knows the game, they're going to be as excited as hell about it. So I definitely think tapping into that. Let's find that balance. When you find that balance, it'll be a much more of a successful and well-renowned movie, and also word of mouth could definitely help a movie like he did with Sonic. That came out in 2020. A lot of skeptical things was happening, but word of mouth made that a very, very popular video on demand movie where a lot of people were going, is it good? Let me check it out. I've got nothing else to do. And that is what's really positive. Obviously, times have changed now. People are going to be going to the cinema to see this, but word of mouth is absolutely massive in certain movies. And that could put man really in the top tier when you are talking about that balance.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, man. I totally agree. Because just not simply word of mouth, but basically, like I said, if you especially if you're basing a movie there's from a long time franchise, it doesn't matter if it's a video game. It could be a book or a series of novels or a comic book. The point is that you're gonna have to put some balance. So in a way that normal moviegoers can understand the overall story, the characters, the places, the overall world building, but also in the same time, put something, that even the longtime fans will enjoy, basically some Easter eggs or mentioning of some certain things or objects or characters or places, just like I said, so I do believe, like I mentioned before, that Miyamoto, I believe his words. I think he's gonna handle the movie very well.
Yeah, exactly. I'd like to add too. You were saying about the difference between hardcore fans and average moviegoers and stuff like that. You can see with we're in an age where it's complete IP franchises that keep adapting. Biggest one would be the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the MCU, where we have this giant franchise, based off of a superhero universe that was just a small office in Manhattan that kind of that kind of blew up and has like all this lore and stuff like that. You see it in like all like all these movies and stuff like that. And yeah, you get the average moviegoers and stuff like that. But you also got your hardcore fans. I'm pretty sure that's what it's gonna be like, with this Mario universe. And if Nintendo decides to expand, like obviously you're gonna have a lot of lore there. Like you versus like the average moviegoer, you're probably gonna see, oh hey, that's an Easter egg from like Super Mario Odyssey or something like that.
Exactly.
But then like the average moviegoer obviously not going to get that. So you're definitely kind of getting the best of both worlds in that sense.
Yeah, I agree. I think the balance they're going to have to balance it with the hardcore video fans and then like the newer people who don't know what it is. But part of it, and this sort of is related, but part of what I think they're going to have to do for the movie that's going to draw everybody in, it comes out when? March?
April.
Or April. So in either late February or early March, what they need to do is think back to Sonic. I think they did it like a couple weeks before Sonic. It might have been a month. So what they need to do is they need to release it needs to be a killer lead single from the movie. Like Kid Cudi's Stars in the Sky or Stars Across the Sky from, or whatever the name of the song was, from Sonic, or even Rihanna's whatever the name of the song was in Black Panther. They need to release a killer lead single for it, because I think that will, if you're a fan of the franchise or if you're somebody who doesn't know at all about the franchise, that's going to draw you in.
The Wreck-It Ralph movie did kind of something like that. It like had all those like video game sounds and stuff like that. So
yeah, it did. Actually, it did. And I mean, I agree. Like, I agree with everything you guys said, because, like, the thing is that, just like I said, because sometimes, we all have seen some movies that are based on a video game that were basically overstuffed with things like, when it comes to characters or elements or like Easter eggs and other things, where basically only gamers would understand, like, that's coming from there. Oh, that's the character from this game, or like, oh, this is the place from like whatever game, like, and sometimes, video game movies, they have done this, because there are some filmmakers, they only targeted like just simply one typical audience, and when it comes to Super Mario Brothers, like some people actually have been complaining, like, it's going to be a very simple story. It's going to be like this and that. I'm like, dude, like I said, like Miyamoto and Illumination are targeting two types of audiences, like video game fans and no moviegoers. And you have to make you don't have to like really make the story simple. You don't have to like oversimplify the story. No. But you have to make it in a way that, the normal moviegoers, can actually understand. Like basically like where, what, like I said before, like what Mushroom Kingdom is, where they come from, who's Mario, who's Luigi, who's Bowser, like, some explanations, like for example, about the superstar that we saw in the trailer, that Bowser found, which also makes it like a little more interesting goal for Bowser, like basically going around and conquering, other kingdoms and everything, because I mean, it works a little bit more better than just simply kidnapping the princess like he usually does. So there's that, so again, everything what you just said, it's absolutely correct, so I do hope that, that they're gonna do good, I'm really hoping, because I really want to see more of the Super Mario Brothers. Like, I mean, if for example, if they're not going to start expanding on other universes, at least I really am hoping they're going to expand like on the Super Mario universe, because with everything they have, like some people really say that it's overstuffed, especially with the characters, when it comes to the voice cast. But I believe, like I said, I believe that the directors alongside Miyamoto, I think like they're going to handle well, because again, you have to remember, it's not just simply Illumination. Even Nintendo is heavily involved. in this, So, when on a company that owns the rights to the character, an entire franchise is heavily involved, that at least it gives you a little bit of hope that it's going to be a good movie.
Exactly. Now let me ask you something.
Yeah, that's.
Oh,
Go on.
sorry. Go
Chuck it out
ahead.
there, Peyton.
All right.
Well, I was just going to say.
You go ahead. I'll keep on my question. Kieran?
Well, I was just going to say that looking at this cast, looking at the way of the amount of characters, I'm a little bit unsure whether they. I'm going to say this in the nicest possible way, and I'm happy to be challenged on this because, like you said, you guys know a lot more about this universe than myself. However, looking at the amount of characters that we've got in here, I'm not too sure whether Nintendo are thinking, let's put as many characters as possible in this, and then in this probably second or third movie, obviously, if there's going to be success within this film, how many characters can we introduce? How many characters do we have in our backlog? Because if you look at Sonic the Hedgehog, the first movie, Eggman was in it as the villain, and obviously Jim Carrey was brilliant in that, but you didn't have a lot of Sonic side characters. So I think there was a little bit more trust in the product to say, okay, this is going to be successful. When the sequel was green lighted, we got Tails, we got Knuckles, and then obviously we're going to get a Knuckles TV show, which I cannot wait for that. It's going to be so good. Then obviously with the third one, it looks like we're going to get even more characters. I'm not sure whether in this one we're looking at potentially them saying, I'm going to put in all of these characters and see the way that they can develop throughout the movies rather than drip feeding them in. So I've got a bit of a question to the crowd. I hope you don't mind. Which characters do you think they've staggered or possibly pushed back and say, if this film does well, they're going to be prominent as the new additions in the second one? I know we've not seen the first movie, I know we just talked about that, but I'm interested to see, because if they're going to make a universe, like Alan said, build upon this universe, who can they bring in that could really make a big impact? I present that to my councilman here. All
right. Well, what I was asking is actually kind of a step back, and this is kind of for a question for all of you, but particularly for Alan, because Alan is the Nintendo guru here.
I'm flattered.
Yeah, but we were talking kind of an expansion on, if this movie did well, there can be an expansion on the Nintendo IP. Do you think that it can lead up to not only a bunch of like spin-offs based off of other like video game characters like Legend of Zelda, F-Zero, Star Fox, Samus, but do you think, and I don't know what plan they have, but do you think it could probably culminate to a Super Smash Brothers crossover movie?
Oh fuck! I mean that's something that a lot of Nintendo fans would love to see, like Super Smash Bros. Like movie. Basically, it would be basically like a anime version of Avengers, basically. In a sort of way. But I don't know. I mean, when it comes to Super Smash Bros., like, look, this is too soon. This is really too soon to talk about, and also in Super Smash Bros., you don't just simply have Nintendo. You have like properties from Sega, you have properties from like Capcom and all different other companies, so it's a little bit like difficult to speculate about like a Super Smash Bros. Movie. But again, it's too soon. Now, going back to like if the movie does well, I think it will definitely do well. Because usually, don't get me wrong, like usually Illumination movies, they actually are successful when it comes to box office. They're usually very successful, especially the Despicable Me movies.
Those minions.
Exactly. So I think it will be a box office success, because I mean, like, even if you're not a true gamer when it comes to like Super Mario and all that, like, I mean, everyone knows Mario. I mean, if you didn't, because the thing is, I didn't just simply grow up playing the games. I also grew up like watching the anime TV shows, like the Adventures of Super Mario Bros. 3, the first Super Mario animated show, then Super Mario World. Like I watched all the 3 shows, and that's also part of it. Like how I basically was introduced to Super Mario. So the overall, my point is, even normal moviegoers, I think, will have an idea who Super Mario is. Like because because it is a character that is iconic, like very very iconic, all over the world. Like when it comes to old generations or young generations. But going back, like to your question, like when it comes to if the movie is successful, well, I will say this: Nintendo already planned, like if the movie is successful, to do like a Donkey Kong spin-off like movie. Also, there were talk about like the actor who voices Luigi. He expressed an interest to do a Luigi's Mansion movie, which I would adore if this happens. Like I would love to see Luigi's Mansion like turn into like an animated comedy horror movie, because it would be really really great, because the games are great. I didn't play the first one, but I played the second and the third. It's a really good game. So I really hope of that as well, overall. But I think some of the characters they're in, that were like, for example, we had Cranky Kong, we have Donkey Kong, in it as well. I think like their roles will be small. I think like their roles won't be big. I think like they will be small, basically like teasing a potential expansion. So overall, I think the movie will be successful, and I think they will expand on like possible like Super Mario universe when it comes to like that world. Like I think there will be some expansions, but also, which I don't know if you know this, but Nintendo already they announced they created a studio for movies and TV shows.
No, I'm not knocking the overall product of Mario's and the attractability. I'm just saying that, my point was, I do think possibly bringing certain characters back or introducing them in this movie and then giving them their own shows and movies could definitely help. I'm just thinking to myself, what characters are fans going, I absolutely love it, give me a second one, give me this, and this. There will be a checklist for a lot of fans and a lot of big fans. I'm just saying, what are they going to hold back? I'm not saying that this is not going to be a successful movie, because there are some movies where they're not at all liked or in terms of critic scores, but will get sequels based on their box office revenue. This movie is going to make a lot of money. Illumination are a great animated studio. We keep talking about Despicable Me, but actually, that's not my favorite movie coming out of Illumination. My favorite one has to be The Secret Life of Pets. That is such a pleasant movie. That is probably their favorite movie. So for me, Illumination has a massive, like I said, they're a growing animated company. They've got some really, really great things. So I'm not saying that it's not going to be successful. I'm just saying, what have they got in their back pocket? What are they planning ahead of this? And I definitely think that becomes a smart studio when you're saying, here's the product, but we've also got something in the backlog, because then production, the hype, and the interest can really be part of this Mario universe.
No. Don't get me wrong. I completely understand you. And like you asked before, PPN, like you asked before, like I do believe that if after the movie Succession being successful, I do believe that we could potentially see like other franchises. I mean, personally, for me, I would love to see Legend of Zelda. I would love to see Kirby and also Star Fox. Like I would love to see, because those three are one of my favorite franchises that came out of Nintendo. Like alongside Super Mario, of course, So I would love to see them as well.
F-Zero would be pretty cool as well. I really want to see Captain Falcon.
Oh yes, I totally agree. That would be badass as well. I agree on that. Oh my god. But yeah, I mean, but personally, I think, like I said, when it comes to story-wise, because right now I only have like theories and predictions, but I think like they're gonna hold back with with characters like Donkey Kong and Cranky Kong. I think like they're gonna hold back on them and basically concentrate on the Mushroom Kingdom, Toad, Princess Peaches, the Super Mario Brothers, and Bowser. I think like they're gonna concentrate more on that than the rest. Okay. But again, this is just a teaser trailer. Maybe after the feature trailer, we'll get like a better idea. But overall, what do you guys think?
Well, my question to you was more like if you think it could be a possibility of like all this IP expanding, and then maybe one day.
No. I get your question, and like I said, and I mentioned before, I think definitely. I mean, after the Super Mario Bros., if it's successful, for example, like you said, if it became a success, if it earns like after like over $1 billion on the box office, and for example, if it's like critically acclaimed or at least like giving positive reviews, definitely Nintendo are gonna expand on their like franchises. Definitely, like not just Super Mario Brothers, but like even others like Kirby, Legend of Zelda, Star Fox, the other one you mentioned. Like definitely they're gonna expand. Definitely.
Okay. Yeah, but honestly, with this movie in general,
it's the cast list, Tib.
Wait, let's finish. Let's finish PPN like finishing sentence, and then we'll move on the cast.
No, it's just with this movie right here, there's a lot of possibilities, not just for the lore and stuff like that, but just for a story that everybody's always wanted to see. Like all these characters and stuff like that, and just how the video game can be adapted. Excuse me. So I'm pretty excited to see what they do with it.
Yeah, I mean, like, some I actually have seen some people like saying that, like, oh my god, like they're gonna kill off Bowser like in the first movie. Fuck off! Like, they're not. Of course they're not gonna kill Bowser.
Animated movie.
Yeah, but also Bowser is one of the most iconic Nintendo characters. There's no way they're gonna kill him off. No way. Like either he's gonna be defeated and banished into a different world or something, or basically he's gonna like retreat. There's no way they're gonna kill him off. No way, no way. But anyway, like with everything said, I think like we should go on one of my favorite parts of this live stream will be, and that is the cast list. Okay, so please. Allow me the honors to read you the cast, okay? Can I? Okay, here we go. So get ready, guys. All right, first we have Chris Pratt as Mario, Anya Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach. Then we have the motherfucking Charlie Day as Luigi. Of course, Jack Black as Bowser, Keegan-Michael Key as Toad, Seth Rogen as Funky Donkey Kong. Yep. I'm Donkey Kong who likes to smoke weed. Like that kind of Seth Rogen's Donkey Kong. Oh my god, I have to hear him. Like I have to see like his version. Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong. Then we have Sebastian Maniscalco as Spike. I mean, I was surprised that they're gonna show Spike in this because he only appeared one time in the game. Then we, of course, we have the one and only Kevin Michael Richardson, the only like actual voice actor here as Kamek, the little Koopa wizard. And of course, now here is the piece de resistance. Also in this movie is involved Charles Martinet, who is the actual voice of Mario. I mean, like not just simply Mario, but like Super Mario, it's me. Here we go. Let's go. Woohoo! Or even like, he even voiced Luigi, like, Luigi 2, Luigi number 1. Like, also, like, one of my favorite characters in Super Mario, Wario. Yeah, you gonna eat that garlic? Welcome to Wario World. Oh my god, I love that game. Anyway, so Charles Martinet is also involved in this movie, but they did say, like, he's gonna voice surprise cameos in this movie, and I can tell you right now who's gonna be Wario and Waluigi. No one else. It's gonna be them, definitely. Anyway, so that's my thoughts, like who could be those cameos. But overall, let's talk about the cast list, shall we? So I told you the cast list. So now I want to hear your thoughts. Go ahead.
I mean, I have my thoughts, but I'll let any of you because
let's start with TK. Let's start with TK on this one. Let's start with you.
Okay. I like the cast. I'm a little worried about Chris Pratt as Mario. I'm a little worried about that. He might be good. I think we need to see more of him in a trailer to actually like say how good he actually is or see if he actually fits. I'm kind of 50-50 whether I'm glad he's not using the accent.
I mean
if he did the accent, it would sound awful.
I mean, before we go to other opinions, like think about it. Like, can you imagine, like, basically hearing Mario in that strong Italian accent, basically all the way through the entire movie, going like, talking like this, like, what is a place? Oh, Mushroom Kingdom, here we go, woohoo! Like, yeah, it's me, Mario. Like, I mean, not just simply will irritate the parents, but like the kids were like, the fuck he's saying? Like I don't understand a fucking word he's saying. Like I mean, so it's understandable for me why he doesn't do the Italian accent, but like a lot of people like like why he's not doing it? Why? Because like for example Mario Kart 8, you hear like Mario Kart 8, like you like basically going like maybe it's strong Italian accent, but for me personally, I think it's a good thing. But continue, TK.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 50-50 whether I partially want the accent so it's more true to the game, but like on the other hand, I mean, like you said, I just can't hear Chris Pratt doing that accent.
Me
It
too.
doesn't sound like it'd be good.
Yeah.
The rest of the cast I like.
You're fine with the rest of the cast.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to hear Charlie Day as Luigi. Oh my god! I mean, I love them in Horrible Bosses. I love them in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Like, I'm really curious to see, like, hear him as Luigi because I think like he's gonna be great. Like as Luigi. Like for me, it was perfect. So I mean, everything else for me, like just like you said, the cast for me is good. Like even like Anya Taylor-Joy, if you don't know her, Queen's Gambit. Like I think that she's perfect as Peach. I think she's gonna do good as Princess Peach. That's just me, of course. But now, it's not just about me. So let's hear you, Film Review Central. What are you thinking?
Can I just say, Super Mario Brothers 2, Lord of Shadows in the title role of Mario, or just all the voices, because he's doing a fantastic job on this stream of doing everybody's voices. No, I think it's a good cast. Listen, we heard snippets, obviously, from the trailers. There were snippets we didn't really interpret the whole voices. Chris Pratt is just there, I think, as a bit. He's there for that attractability when go, oh God, Chris Pratt, I know exactly who he is. He's done some voice work in the past with the Lego movie. So I definitely think he's got that experience doing it. I agree with the Italian accent though. It's probably better to not do it than attempt it and then just go really wrong. So I definitely feel that will work. I think Charlie Day is a great comedic actor, so you could see him doing Italian accent, maybe because of probably that comedic tone. I think Anya Taylor-Joy is a fantastic actress anyway. I think she's doing some really, really great things. I watched The Menu a couple of days ago, and I thought she was really, really great in that, amongst other films that she's been in. So I think this is definitely, definitely an enjoyable role for her. Whether she's going to have that much to do in the movie, I'm not sure. And obviously, Jack Black is the standout for me as Bowser. I definitely think that role, we obviously touched on it earlier, is obviously he has the most sort of talking within the but there definitely seems like the cast is a well-known cast. It has a lot of big names, a lot of attractability within there, both voice casting and just big names, big stars who have been in bigger projects before this. So to me, I do think it's a really good cast. I think it's made some really, really strong choices. And for me, Chris Pratt is a big name, and I definitely think that's what's going to attract certain people who go, you know what, let's go and watch the new Chris Pratt movie. But I definitely think Nintendo need to think about replacing Mr. Pratt with our very own Lord of Shadows here, because he definitely seems like he's got the Mario accent very, very much down.
Oh my god! Okay,
the Lord of Shadows
cut. Oh god!
Yeah. Can we do like a Shadow Council adaptation of the Mario Brothers? So Lord of Shadows.
Oh my god!
Be Mario, and then we'll just sort of fit into each other's roles. To be fair,
oh my!
I think that'd be quite good.
Oh my god! Okay, moving forward. PPN.
All right, so
PPU.
I have a lot of thoughts on this. Everybody got their thoughts on Chris Pratt out, so I kind of wanted to get mine. To be honest, I am very split on this, because when I first heard the news, I'm like, Chris Pratt? Like, like you could have been more creative with it. No, Chris Pratt. Yeah, okay, that's what we're doing. And then as I heard like, and then I thought about it a little bit. Having a like, kind of like an actual actor, like, like it makes sense because Charles Martinet is Mario. There's no doubt about it. But at the same time, Mario has never had like, other than like maybe like the super, what was it, the Super Mario Power Hour or something like that in the 90s? What was the show called?
I don't quite remember.
Yeah, but
I can have a look. Do you want me to have a look?
Well, we can try. So you're searching for what?
I'm going to search in Mario Bros. TV show here.
No, because there are 3 animated TV shows about Super Mario, and in all 3 of them, there were different voice actors. It wasn't Charles Martinet at all.
Okay.
Oh, okay. It was the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Okay,
Oh.
And I mean, like I said, like Charles Martinet, like voiced him in like like video games and all. But like when it comes to anime TV shows, there were different people. And also, I mean, I just want to add this, Peyton. I just want to add this. Here's the thing. In those 3 anime TV shows, Luigi, Mario, they had a normal American accent, like no Italian accent whatsoever. Like they talk normally. So I'm like, huh. So you're bullshitting about Chris Pratt? I mean, I'm saying in general. Like, so people are bullshitting about Chris Pratt, like voicing Mario, and I'm like, what about the guys from the animated TV shows? They didn't didn't have like an Italian accent. They were just talking normally, like through the characters of Mario and Luigi. I mean, some people can speculate that like Luigi had an accent, like when he was like, Mario, wherever you are, help, or like he was like, that's Mama Luigi to you, Mario. Like some people will say, like, okay, that's kind of Italian accent. In a way, okay, I kind of get it, but I'm like, I'm a little bit like, I mean, but still, like, it's more English than Italian, but like, okay, fine, whatever, But again, I'm like, we only heard like two things out of Chris Pratt's mouth, like, what is this place? And like, Mushroom Kingdom, here we come, like. He only said that. I'm like, at least, like, for God's sake, give the guy a break. Like, let's wait for the official trailer and then hear like how he talks, because even when he said like Mushroom Kingdom, here we come, like there was a little bit of Italian accent, a little bit like Brooklyn style in it, but like very, very vague, like very like foggy. Let's just put it that way.
Alan, did they have accents in the live action movie?
No. Bob Hoskins was the same as he always was, and even like I always forget his name. Who played Luigi? I always forget his name.
No, I know the actor.
I know him too, but I can't remember his name.
But that's why I don't think people should really be moaning so much about, Chris Pratt. Is that the technicality is that I think they were just nitpicking. I think they were nitpicking. It was a teaser trailer. There's obviously, there we go.
Him, yes.
But he was just little pickups. I just think like little nitpicking. I think does probably throw again word of mouth, move you the wrong way. So I definitely think, like I said, Chris Pratt's a big name. He's done some great voice work in the past, proven voice actor. So to me personally, I think it's just little nitpicking. Nobody had an issue with the design, the setting, the cinematography. Nobody had an issue with that. So the fact, because really, actually, if you look at the trailer, the only issue was with Chris Pratt's voice. That was it. There was no real big bad negatives. It was only that. That was the only reaction. So the fact that they're making, I think they're just nitpicking, to be honest.
Yeah, but also I just want to say this, if I may say so. Not just simply the voice, but also there was one thing about the Mario design, which I thought like that's fucking stupid. But like there was one thing about his design that people were complaining, which is a very stupid thing, and that is that that's basically his ass being like very flat. Like I'm like, And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, wait, you're complaining about his butt? I'm like, what?
All of
I'm
these
like,
people on the internet lately, like with whole Namor and everything like that, they complain over just the weirdest stuff.
I know, but I'm like, when I was watching like Mario, I was like, wow, like he looks great. And then some people are saying, that, oh my God, his ass is flat. I'm like, like he has a very bouncy ass, like in the games. I'm like, what the fuck are you concentrating on? I'm like, there's Mario, and you're complaining about his butt. I'm like, are you serious?
I personally think his butt looks lovely.
Perfecto. It looks perfect. Like, no, I mean, seriously, it looks fine. I'm like, what the fuck they're talking about? Like, I really don't know.
Yeah.
But again,
Hey, can I get back to my point, please?
Oh yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. It's just
Yeah, come on.
we went like really off, and like I kind of wanted to get my thoughts out, but obviously, like with the Super Mario Brothers show and all those animated, my point was like with Charles Martinet and everything like that, we never really got much dialogue from Mario. It's always been kind of side things like "Let's go" or like like little dialogue, but we've never got dialogue for it. He's a video game actor. He's meant for the video games, not movies and stuff like that. So I see why they casted Chris Pratt. Am I a big fan of that choice? Not really. I mean, he's a good. I mean, he's got a screen presence, and obviously he played Emmett from the Lego Movie immensely.
Mhm.
But me personally, like, and I liked him in that little like segment. I thought he was meant for that design of Mario. His voice looked like it was meant for that design. Am I still psyched about Chris Pratt as Mario? Not much, but like I'm optimistic about it. I mean,
Who
you
would
have
you want? Who would you want to see him play?
probably someone who has more like of a like of more like experience with voice acting. Like my friend and I were actually talking the other day about this. They actually brought up a good choice. And I'm surprised this actor isn't involved anywhere like in this project. Bill Hader.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yes.
That's
a good point,
Oh my
actually.
God. That's actually a not bad choice. That's actually pretty good
Yeah.
for
Like
Mario.
like he is literally
Lord of Shadows and Bill Hader.
yes.
Oh, for God's sake.
but anyways, other than the whole Chris Pratt thing, and what I would want for it, honestly, the rest of the cast is either okay or really good. Like obviously, we talked about Jack Black, and now we know that he can actually put in like we see him as like this kind of goofy guy with all this charisma, but then like you hear him, I'm like, crap, he's actually putting effort towards it, and so I'm looking forward to that. Charlie Day as a neurotic Luigi, I am so looking forward to.
Me too. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
And then Anya Taylor-Joy, if I'm being honest, I feel like she's gonna just have her normal American accent, but at the same time, she is like one of the most rising like actors there are. I think she's gonna put a lot of charisma into this. She's not a voice actor, but I think she's gonna put her own like actual acting into it. When I'm saying she's not a voice actor, that's not a bad thing. You can have voice roles that you can just flat out act with. Like, for example, Into the Spider-Verse, there are a lot of actors who are just traditional actors. They don't, have a lot of like, range with it, but it's fine because the thing with voice acting is you're acting. So
Exactly.
yeah, exactly. Like, and like all these like voice actors with like TV and stuff like that, people, like TV and animation, well, TV and movie with like animation stuff like that, it's slightly different. I'm trying to, I've been thinking about it a lot lately, and it's slightly different. But I get them like using like big name actors because this is a big name project, and you see choices like with like Seth Rogen, like he's fine, like it's Donkey Kong, like
he fits the character.
Yeah, he does. Like just like a big goofy character. He's a goofy guy.
Here he is again. Here he goes again.
Yeah.
I think
smoke weed.
I think Seth Rogen plays that is voiced really perfectly in this. Where if he was any other character in this movie, I would go, "Ooh, that's not a very good casting decision." So I think he fits the Donkey Kong character very well. I think Anya Taylor-Joy really does show you that her versatility as an actress. I think you'll see that once again, and she's been in some fantastic movies.
Yeah.
She's really tapped into the horror genre with Split, the superhero fantasy element with the New Mutants, which I thought she was the best part of the New Mutants, even though that movie was terrible. But then obviously we're seeing her in the TV work with Queen's Gambit. Now we're seeing her in that movie, The Menu. So I think having versatility as an actor really shows your talent. I think she's a really great up and coming actress. I think she has some fantastic upcoming projects as well, especially with that Furiosa film, which I cannot wait for. So to me personally, we've got versatility. I think is a big thing for an actress, especially as when you're younger. Coming into this very family oriented animated light stuff will help her broaden her network. I definitely think she will do a really, really good job in this.
Yeah, I mean, everything you guys said, like I absolutely totally agree. But the thing is, that's usually when you do like an animated movie. You have to draw in like some like well-known actors, because that way, you can easily draw the audience in as well. Like that's also one of the big parts in marketing. I mean, if you look at the cast, the only like officially like a professional voice actor here is Kevin Michael Richardson. He's the only one in who's like a professional, voice actor. And even though I only heard like one line from Kamek, like he was perfect as Kamek, like he really sounded good. But I will say, but also I think like people should give like Charles Martinet a break, because like the guy has been voicing the character for over 20 years. So if he is not voicing Super Mario like in this movie, like like I'm totally fine with it. And also I believe that at least there's no fucking way, I believe that Charles Martinet like gave Chris Pratt his blessing when it comes to like voicing the character. Like I believe he did, because just like you said, Peyton, like in the games, basically Mario, like he's like, whoops a daisy, it's a me, Mario, here we go, let's go, woohoo, like hey, oh, Mario Kart. Like he doesn't, like you don't actually hear him like actually saying like other things, like like an actual true like longer sentence, basically. He's just simply saying little bits and pieces, because that's basically what you do in video games. Like you just simply, you have voice actors that basically throw in some words, throughout the game, especially when it comes to like things like Mario Kart, in this case, So I don't know. I mean, like for me personally, like again, I just want to go quickly to the voice cast. Like again, like Chris Pratt, I know it's a very unusual choice for Mario. I get that. But even though I will say this, the reaction to the people, especially the gamers, to the cast list was priceless. Oh my God. Like the reactions they had with Chris Pratt voicing Mario, like half of them were laughing, half of them just simply wanted to kill themselves. Like when they heard that.
I think
the internet.
But I think if you put loads of voice actors in it, it's not going to have that attractability as a movie. So a lot of gamers are gonna. What there's not a lot of gamers that are also big movie fans as well, where they understand both the industries. Lord of Shadows here being the massive exception on this panel and in this council. But to me personally, when you love something so much, you have to find out that differentiation. If Chris Pratt was part of the games and stuff like that, you go, oh, okay, does that really fit in a sort of a game sense? Does his voice fit in? It fits in a movie. It is a movie, and I think at the end of the trailer, when you see all that cast list, are you going to be as looking forward as just a casual moviegoer. We spoke about how they need to balance that out pretty well. That whole cast list focuses on getting people in the seats that fans of Jack Black, Chris Pratt, Anya Taylor-Joy, people who are excited to see their next project, because you're going to have people who are going, what's Jack Black doing this year? The Mario Brothers movie? Get me in that cinema. There's that. It comes back to that point about what are they focusing on. You're not going to have the attractability of new audiences when you see all the people that have voiced their characters in the games, or as Alan said, probably not as much in the games. So to me personally, I think that list possibly shows you that this is a movie cast. Let's just go with it and let's just see what they could do, because it's a really great opportunity for them as well.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree what you just said, and like I mentioned before as well, like basically, if you bring like actual voice actors into a movie that is going like on the big screen in the theater, like, it's not going to draw that much attention, even though a lot of people are saying like, oh, give voice actors like, some like, really big jobs and things like that. Okay, yes, I get it. Even voice actors have to do like some work. I get it. But when it comes to the big screen, like voice actors, like even if like no matter how famous they are, like for example, like from Frank Welker to Jim Cummings to like Phil Lamar, or like in this case Kevin Michael Richardson, or even like who can I mention as well?
Tara Strong,
Clancy Brown, for example, or Tara Strong in this case as well. Like if like even though like no matter how famous they are, they're not going to draw too much attention to the movie. Like because it's all part of the marketing. So you're gonna have to have some like big A-list of actors, to kind of draw their attention. Like, Chris Pratt's in this, Jack Black is in this, Seth Rogen is this. All right, count me in. Like, yeah, cannot wait.
like,
So yeah,
voice-
I mean, like.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, Alan. But I was agreeing with you. Voices like that, like TV voice actors and stuff like that, they're gonna appeal to us animation nerds. They're not going to appeal to the masses.
Exactly. I mean, again, like I said before, like you have so many great voice actors, like so many, like really great voice actors. Like I said, from like veterans, like I said, like I said before, like Clancy Brown, Frank Welker, Peter Cullen, Phil Lamar, even Brad Garrett, actually, like, or even like, Mark Hamill, you have Bradley D. Baker, like you have so many wonderful voice actors, or in this case, like you said, Great Eliza or Tara Strong as well, but they're not gonna bring in too much audience because a lot of people don't actually know them, because they do their work. Well, except with the exception of Mark Hamill, okay, with the exception of Mark Hamill and also Clancy Brown, and also him as well. But besides them, even Brad Garrett actually. But besides that, those three, there's a lot of voice actors that people that never heard of them, because they were not in big movies. So like I said before, you gotta draw their attention with actual A-list actors. So going back to the cast list, like I said, Chris Pratt is a very unusual choice, but I will give him a shot. I'm not gonna go like back and basically bullshit about him like they did with like the Sonic design, because the thing is, now don't you people get me wrong. Like I get it, like the Sonic thing, that's a different story. But the point I'm trying to make is, I'm not gonna bullshit about Chris Pratt's voice, like saying like redo the same thing all over again, just like he did with Sonic. Like I'm like, time out. I'm like, there's like redesigning a character, I get it, but redo the lines with like another different actor, I'm like, that's not gonna happen. It's Chris Pratt. That's it. Get over it.
You know what's funny?
Go on.
Garfield. Literally a few weeks after Garfield.
Yeah, he was cast as Garfield the cat.
But also, I think as well is that we're making such a big thing about it, not us necessarily, but fans make a big thing. Like Lord Shadow said, after 2 words, after 2 lines, that is going to be a massively critical thing when people get to a review, when people get to a trailer breakdown of the official trailer. You have more content to sort of cover and back up your opinion, because at the end of the day, we can talk and say that the original Mario voice actor should be in this role. Yes, we can say that, but there's that whole possibility where we could say, you know what, Chris Pratt's voice doesn't fit this role, but another actor can. I definitely think we need more evidence to support people's points, because, like I said, there's only been 2 lines. And Lord Shadow says he actually sounded pretty good in that second line So to me personally, what you're looking at is people nitpicking, people not having that much to focus on about the other stuff. The other stuff looked really, really good. My only nitpick is, and this might be a nice transition into possibly another content subject, and I want to sort of pose this question once again to the council. For me, watching that trailer, and I rewatched it a couple of times today before this live stream, I'm having slight issues about the way that they can connect this all together. I think they will do that, but I definitely think there are 3 main storylines, it felt like 3 movies. It felt like to the point where we could potentially see 3 different big storylines sort of work along together, and how much time do each storyline take. I understand that's the whole point of an adventure movie, having different characters in different places. But for me in the trailer, I felt like Mario was doing his thing. You had sort of this villainous arc at the beginning, and then you had Luigi rescuing Princess Peach right at the very end, because a lot of people were going, where is Luigi in this? And then he just pops up randomly at the end there to show where he is. So I do personally think we could see 3 different storylines within this, and 3 different stories where you could only see them together. You could only see the main conflict happen right at the very end of the movie. So I'll present that to you and see what you think, because that was my only big sort of negative going into it. Chris Pratt was fine. I thought the animation looked brilliant. I thought the color palette looked really nice, but I think that was my only negative about this teaser trailer, is that it definitely felt like 3 different stories, which potentially could be 3 different movies.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but I totally agree with everything you said. But also, first and foremost, I just want to correct you. Luigi wasn't trying to save Princess Peach. He was just running away from the dry bones.
No, but on IMDb, it says something about it. That's what I've read. That's based on what I've seen on IMDb. That's my source of information.
Yeah, I get you. But like from the trailers that you saw, like he wasn't trying to save Princess Peach. He was just running to like one of those abandoned fortresses that you saw in the old Mario games from the dry bones. Like that's basically what he was doing. But again, going back to the cast, I just want to say I have no problems with any of them, honestly. I think, like, first, like I said, just like you said, Peyton, I'm really cannot wait to see like Charlie Day as Luigi. I cannot wait to hear him. Like, he's gonna be like a very adrenaline driven Luigi. It's gonna be basically a mixture of Horrible Bosses and Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Like, it's gonna be like a mixture of those two. Like when it comes to Charlie Day, and I cannot wait to hear him. Exactly. Well, without the swearing. In Luigi. Now again, Anya Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach. I don't think she will give her normal voice. I think like she will sound a little more lighter, just like she did in the games. I mean, just a little bit, like not too much. So I think like it will be fine. Jack Black sounded amazing as Bowser. Keegan Michael Key as Toad. Like the lines I heard, I was like, perfect. Okay, he's perfect as Toad. Like I'm buying it. But of all the others, I cannot fucking wait to hear Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. Like, Donkey Kong like smoke weed. Sorry, I had to do it again. Sorry.
I love it. Seriously.
Oh my god, yeah. But overall, with all that, like I said, it's just a teaser trailer, so we're gonna have to wait and see a little bit more information until we can actually came to a conclusion. But overall, even with the trailers out, I always saying this: when you see the movie, then you can make a conclusion. Because the trailers are only there to kind of like to make you hyped about the movie. Basically,
it's a guide.
Exactly, It's basically a guide to the movie. They're not gonna show you everything. But the one thing I will say, Charles Martinet, when it comes to like, voicing surprise cameos, please, Miyamoto, please, Illumination, please introduce Wario and Waluigi into this. Please. I just want to hear Charles Martinet, basically going, it's me, Wario. You gonna eat that garlic? Have a rotten day. Yahoo! Like, oh my God. I just can't wait to hear Charles Martinet as Wario. Because there's no other character that he will voice in the movie besides them, Wario and Waluigi. No way. But overall, I'm fine with the cast. and I'm gonna give Chris Pratt a shot, like I give everything else in the past. Hey, you can talk as well, you know.
Oh yeah. Um, obviously same. I'm pretty excited for this. I grew up. I mean, I didn't grow up with the franchise like you did, Alan, but as a kid in the early to mid to late 2000s, I grew up playing Mario Kart and Mario 64 on the DS. Had fun and stuff like that. So I'm excited to kind of not necessarily revisit, but kind of see this universe in like a new light. And I'm pretty excited. And the voice cast, it's gonna be mixed, but it's gonna be fun. It's definitely gonna be fun.
Yeah,
And,
I mean
this
I just want to say one more quick thing, and then you can proceed. The only one thing I'm afraid of, because just from the trailer reactions I've seen, when people like immediately heard like Chris Pratt's voice, like there was a lot of people who were like, okay, that's it, I'm out. Like, no, I'm not gonna watch this movie. It's gonna be shit because Chris Pratt is shit as Mario and all that. So the one thing I'm a little bit afraid of is people boycotting the Super Mario Bros. Movie because of Chris Pratt. Like that's the only fear I have, and I don't because I really don't want this to damage it.
Yeah.
I think that'll be ironed out with word of mouth. I think that'll be a lot of people's main question. People are probably waiting for second weekend. There's a lot of people that will go and watch it on the first weekend, really give it a shot, really happy with it, and then people might wait for really, really positive talk. Like you said, we're basing this on two lines. People are making a massive outcome. I definitely do think that might iron out with word of mouth, with people going, you know what, Chris Pratt is actually very, very good. Also, a lot of people's opinions, because them turning around saying, we're not going to watch this movie. We are not going to watch this movie. Yeah, but you're going to watch the trailer, because the movie you have to pay. The official trailer you could just check out on YouTube. So that might turn a lot of people around. So I definitely think people's massive statement of I'm not going to watch this movie, that might iron out when we definitely see a lot of content. This was a teaser trailer. Like I mentioned earlier on, it focused on 3 different individual stories. It was trying to balance them out. So it wasn't a Mario 1 minute and 30 or 2 minutes, however long the trailer was, of just purely Mario on the screen. It felt a lot of things. So I definitely think people will give it a chance based on word of mouth, because I definitely think it could have a really, really big audience. I'm looking forward to it. I surprised myself by watching and really liking Sonic the Hedgehog, something that I'm not particularly known about, and really, really enjoyed it. Giving this a chance, seeing this great cast as well, seeing Jack Black in a voice role after a long time is always going to pique my interest, because I really love Jack Black. So for me, all of these components making one of them movies where I go, you know what, I'm going to give it a chance, because why not you give films like this a chance? It's trying to build a new universe, trying to bring in people in. If they can create that balance, you're going to have a lot of things going, you know what, I'm going to actually check out the Mario Brothers games. I've been playing Mario Kart the past week, and I've been loving it. I've been absolutely loving it. So not doing very well, but loving it and enjoying it, which is what you should do when you play games.
Yeah, exactly. Because just like you said, like this movie opens the door to a lot of possibilities, to a lot of potential. Like when it comes to expanding, the overall, not just simply, as we talked before, not just simply the Super Mario universe, but the overall chances to like other franchises to come, to the big screen. Because like we mentioned before, like I was talking about Kirby, Legend of Zelda, Star Fox. You also mentioned like other franchises that you wish to see, from Nintendo to the big screen as well. So yeah, I mean, like there, and I still believe, even with Chris Pratt and everything, like there's a big potential in this movie. And also, I just want to say this: like video game properties recently, they've been on a winning roll. Like from Sonic 2, Castlevania, the Cuphead show. Like there's a lot of like video game properties that have turned into like movies and TV shows. They've been on a fucking roll in this past few years. Like so, even with Detective Pikachu as well. Even that was like a really great movie as well.
That was so much fun. That was so
exactly.
much
They
fun.
hit, like for me, they hit every note when it comes to the Detective Pikachu. So like with this, I'm also have like really positive positive thinking that Super Mario Bros. Will do well as well. Because like I said, even if there's a problem with when it comes to critics, it's gonna definitely do a lot of money in the box office. And believe me, with the critics, like I'm gonna say it right now, screw the critics, fuck them, because the main thing here is the box office and
Yeah.
what the audience think, not the critics, the audience. And of course, with the box office like going like bigger and bigger and bigger, that's overall their own thinking. Like they love the movie, they want to see it over and over again.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think I can't. I'm not predicting that this is going to be like money thing. But like I said, Illumination. We keep coming back to it. Illumination movies really make a lot of money. Despicable made them really, really good. Basing on that franchise being that stake. But I thought both Secret Life of Pets movies did very, very well in the box office. I mean, you think of the first Secret Life of Pets movie that came out in 2016. That was the third highest grossing movie of summer 2016. That was crazy, and that was a year of really great animated movies, and it still is considered to be one of the best. The both Sing movies, I think, is great. I think Sing 2 that came out early this year, that was like a color spectacle. Like that was beautifully animated. So I definitely think Illumination put so much time and money and effort into their products. And like Lord of Shadows keeps saying, Nintendo involved will iron out their issues where Illumination goes, will this work? And Nintendo goes, no, on our watch. Or yes, that fits us. That fits what we imagined all them years ago. So I think that combination really, really works. I'd like to see that a lot more. And I definitely think that, like you said, it will earn a lot of money. It's not going to roll in the cash grab. I don't personally think to the point where it's going to be massive exploding. But Illumination has done some really, really good stuff with movies that have been proven little original stories that could make a lot of money. I think this one could be one of them because it's based on a proven product that have just kept making games and games over and over again. And they're using that animated style as well. Which definitely leans itself very well to this world. Probably not live action. That was fun. We all joke about it. But now, if you're going to make a really big movie that's going to go into cinemas, Mario Brothers has to exist in an animated form.
Yeah.
I mean, I just want to point out right here, TK, you've been very silenced like for a long time. So please share your wisdom with the council with everything we talked about.
So I think the movie has a lot of potential. My only concern with it is that from the trailers, like we said earlier, it looks like an origin story. So my only concern with it being an origin story is it'll go the Dragon Ball route and try to reinvent too much. And if it does that would, if it reinvents too much, that could be the only real big downfall.
I mean, like I said, it's just a teaser trailer. We don't have too much information, but personally, I don't think they're going to rely too much on the origin story. I think like they're going to be very brief with that. Like, he comes from this particular place. It could be Brooklyn. And basically he goes sucked up in this tube and basically he ends up in the Mushroom Kingdom and that's it. And Luigi ends up in a totally different place. So I think they'll show us a little bit of Mario, like what he was in the human world. And then, like, in a very short period of time, he's just gonna be dropped in the Mushroom Kingdom. So personally, I don't think the origin story will be too long. That's at least what I think.
Definitely. I definitely think it. I think you're the master of Nintendo wisdom, so I definitely think the structure of this movie could be really, really good, and there's possibility of making that story feel very, very great to big fans of the franchise, but then also sort of move it ahead to new audiences. I definitely finding that balance would be really, really great. So I'm really looking forward to it. Roll on March. March looks like a very exciting month for other reasons as well. But having this movie just put nicely inside will be very, very fun and enjoyable, and not go into the cinema with that serious thinking. You could just sit back, relax, enjoy, eat a lot of popcorn, and enjoy a journey of people jumping on mushrooms. So looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I have a question for all of you. Do you think now? I was thinking like I was basically thinking about that like for like few days before we started this live stream. Do you guys think there could be a possibility that this movie has either a mid-credit scene or a post-credit scene? Go.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
UTK?
Yeah.
So you believe there's gonna be a credit scene?
Yeah.
Every big franchise movie does these days.
Yeah, I would say this for Illumination, like this is gonna be the very first one they did when it comes to like credit scenes, you know. And also, if okay, let's put it this way: if the credit scene thing is true, then what do you think the credit scene could be about? I just want to hear it. What you guys think could be about?
Probably
I think it'll.
Wario and Luigi. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Kieran.
I think he'll introduce another new character. I think Illumination can't do that yet because all their movies are sort of original and new, so it's not an end credit scene. If it's going to be a jokey one, then that's fine. That's quite fun and interesting. But I think because Mario's universe has got loads of characters, I definitely think they'll look at it and just go, "We're making the second one. Let's introduce this to make people go." Just make it now. Just show it now. Just do it as a double feature. You've got the second one ready for us, right? That's what they're doing with Sonic. That's what they did at the end of both Sonic movies. And I think they could definitely do it here. So I don't think they could have done it for any other project, mainly because they were all original characters. So it wouldn't have had that significance, because I definitely think that's what end credit scenes need to do. It needs to be significant. You can put in a few fun ones there, but for a franchise that's not established, or a company that's established and use post and mid-credit scenes as much, I definitely think you're going to rely on bringing this big character in to make people go, right, second one, let's put it on, let's get ready for it.
Okay, what do you think, Peyton?
Pretty much what Kieran said. This is a growing market, for new IP and stuff like that. I've been saying that all day, but at the end of the day, it is literally an intellectual property. Nintendo is in general, and it's kind of fun to see all the it as like a business and everything like that. But putting that aside, it's just people are going to be wanting more if this turns out the way we think it is. So there it is.
Okay, fine. TK,
Do you really want to know my prediction?
please. If it doesn't involve Mephisto, yes.
I was
TK's done.
I was gonna say I think Mario's gonna turn into Mephisto in the end credits.
I will say this: if Mephisto was a real thing, I think like he'll be flattered and honored that he has number one fan.
I just
That's
can't wait
for
till
sure.
Ironheart so TK can stop talking about Mephisto.
Oh my god!
Yeah, let's do that.
Me too. But I would say my personal thoughts, like when it comes to the credit scene, and I agree with all of what you, Kieran, said. It could go many different ways. Like it could be a jokey credit scene, but I personally think it will be either an introduction to like new characters or like a teaser for like a possible sequel. Like that's at least what I think it could be. But I will say this: if the teaser, like for example, if they introduce, and I really hope it's true, if they introduce Wario and Waluigi, if they introduce them, I'm really hoping they can do like a spin-off, like a movie about Wario and Waluigi, or, and I'm really hoping that could be true, an adaptation, an animated adaptation of like either Wario World or Wario Land, like because I mean I'm a big fan of Wario. I mean I would say this: I love Wario way more than Mario. Like he's so good. So I'm hoping like when it comes to the like it's like a teaser for that. Either Wario Land, Wario World, or like a movie about the spin-off Wario and Waluigi. That's just me again. Or here's another guess. Like who could be the new character in the credit scene? We didn't mention him, and also he wasn't listed in the cast list. Yoshi.
Possibility.
Mm-hmm.
He could be easily teased in the if there is a credit scene. He could be easily introduced like as one of the new upcoming characters, or at least teased. You know, because of all the cast members, we didn't saw Yoshi, so maybe he could be. I don't know. You know, also, oh my god, I forgot his name. Okay, some people actually have been talking that that Yoshi should be voiced by Shia LaBeouf. I'm not like, what the fuck? I was like, what? You guys really want to go see Yoshi going like, just do it, just do it.
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
Oh my god. Also, I just want to say this. When it comes to fan casting, since the Super Mario Bros. Movie came out, when it comes to the cast revelation, a lot of people have been doing fan casts about Wario and Waluigi. Now, Wario has two actors like fan casting. So I will go first with Waluigi. So Waluigi, there are two choices for him. Either Willem Dafoe or Adam Driver voicing Waluigi.
That would be awesome.
Okay, I will say that.
Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe
Yeah,
for
Willem
me.
Dafoe.
Oh my god, like Willem Dafoe, he'll be so crazy to voice Waluigi. Oh my god, because if Willem Dafoe voices Waluigi, he will make the fucking character so scary and intimidating and creepy. Now for Wario, I see a lot of people, they want Danny DeVito voicing him.
Oh god! Oh god! Imagine Danny DeVito and Willem Dafoe together. Like that'll be a combination that could only really work with animated movies. That could like their different approaches to their characters would just be brilliant. Like their interactions could be really really good.
Yeah, I mean, like Danny DeVito actually, because I've seen some people actually doing some test footage with like with Wario and Waluigi, and Wario and with the voice of Danny DeVito, and it actually works for his character. Actually, Danny DeVito's voice works. So if they're gonna choose him as Wario, hell, I'm in. I'm totally in for him. Oh my god. So, also, I have one more question for you. Like. I don't know if you guys are gonna go and see this movie, but if you're gonna go and see it, if you decide to go, what is the number one thing that you cannot wait to see in this movie the most?
Just this world, this grand world.
Yeah, I agree.
The world,
Just
you,
the
Kieran?
adventure, yeah. Yeah, just the adventure, just this possibility of really just putting, like Peyton said, this world on a plate in animated style. And I definitely think as well, I know I keep talking about it, but to have this movie being surrounded in the same month by so many big action franchise installments, it's so nice to see just have a light-hearted fun and, like you said, have an adventure with these really funny and comedic characters, which definitely will be a lot of people's attractability whenever they purchase their tickets. And I can't wait. I can't not watch this movie based on this podcast because you've got me so hyped for it.
I mean, for me, there are two things I cannot wait to see. Like one of them, number one is the characters. I cannot wait to see them, like on the big screen. But the number two thing is also, like you mentioned before, Peyton, the world building. Like I cannot wait to see because just from the poster, I have seen how they changed a little bit, like the overall grounds of Mushroom Kingdom. Because in the games, the Mushroom Kingdom doesn't look like that. Like the castle is not on the hill, on this big mountain. So, but the way how I saw it in the trailer and the poster, I loved it. I love the idea. So I cannot wait to see the world building of Mushroom Kingdom. Like I cannot wait to see it. And also one bonus, I cannot wait to see the interaction between Mario and Peaches. Like I cannot wait to see like how those two are they're gonna meet for the first time.
Yeah, exactly.
I cannot wait to see that. And okay, I will add also another bonus. I cannot wait to see like a team up between Chris Pratt's Mario and Charlie Day's Luigi. Like I was like, wow, this will be fun. This will be definitely fun. Oh my god. So now I will say this. Now you, Peyton, and I, we actually said like our wishes, like when it comes to the overall universes we love to see. You and I said that. Now I want to see. Now I want to hear from like TK and like our film review Central. like what their wishes are when it comes to overall Nintendo projects, like what they wish to see outside Super Mario Brothers.
I don't really know, to be honest. I'm not really a big sort of Nintendo fan. I'd just like to see just sort of, these Mario movies really being, that balance like we keep mentioning. But I definitely think, there is an audience for this. I definitely think it's one of them. It could potentially be one of them franchises where you can pick and choose what film you want to check out based on the attractability. I can't see it really being linked together. I could be sat here and definitely be proven wrong, but I definitely think there is that potential of really, really connecting, really expanding this world with a lot of really creative characters. And if it stays in Illumination's hands, you could definitely see a very, very strong animated franchise. I'm not too sure what they can now do with the Despicable Me franchise, mainly because I think it's come to quite a nice, satisfying end. So I think with Illumination, they could definitely use this as being their, leading franchise for their company. So all in all, it could be really, really positive. They just have to make this first movie right, because you've seen it with other universes. If your first movie doesn't work, you could be in with a struggle. We saw that with the Dark Universe. These are very different movies, by the way. But what I'm saying is, in the Dark Universe, The Mummy was not a very good movie at all. It completely crushed this whole idea of a Dark Universe. So for me, if you don't do this one right, and I'm not saying it's not going to, but I definitely think focusing on this one first will definitely open an endless amount of possibilities, because they've got so many great characters and Illumination's got such great creative vision.
And you, TK?
I agree. I'm not sure which ones I'd want to see, but I mean, I agree with everything the Film Review Central said. I agree with everything he said. I think that I'm not the biggest Nintendo fan. I don't know too much, but I mean, this could be their next big franchise. I mean, this could be their next, I guess franchise is the best word.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, like when it comes to me, I mean, there's a lot of like franchises that Nintendo have created like over the years and over the decades that they actually have created. But like I said, my top three will always be Kirby, Legend of Zelda, and Star Fox. Especially Star Fox. I've been introduced to this game like through some of my friends, and I really loved like this basically sci-fi like space adventure. With these characters, it's really awesome. I mean seriously, if they handle this franchise, for example, these three very well, like Legend of Zelda, they could easily basically make like a animated version of Lord of the Rings, basically.
Hey, Alan. Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt. I think we got to wrap up, though.
Oh, so you have to run somewhere. Okay, so I'll be short. Like I'll be very brief in this one. Like I just want to say that if they play their cards right, like I said, Legend of Zelda could be basically their version of Lord of the Rings when it comes to like animation style. That's the only thing I just want to mention overall. So overall, well, my dear fellow members of the Shadow Council, it looks like we're done. We did everything, we said everything we wanted to say. We joked around, we screwed around, we beat the crap out of TK mentioning Mephisto. But like overall, I think it was really fun. I really enjoyed like doing this with you guys, and I hope that we could do other Shadow Council episodes in the future. So here it is.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate it for you guys to join me for this very first premiere episode of the Shadow Council. So overall, guys, here we are. We're done. So like always, you get the protocol. Comment, like, subscribe. To my channel. It'll be all in the comment section down below. Drop a like. We all will really appreciate that. If you don't, we're gonna come after you and kill you. But overall, thank you for joining this first time live stream I ever did. So here we are. With the Shadow Council, our meeting is adjourned, and like always, Lord of Shadows, signing off.
Fate and the Pop Perch Network, signing off.
Thank you very much for listening, guys. Film Review Central is out.
Yep. If you're listening, Marvel, Mephisto.
Cut him off. Seriously, cut him off. Come on. He needs to stop now.
See you guys next time. Okay. Bye. Bye.